Thanks, Don.
I'm always here.
Wait, what?
To like the group chat.
Why is Abbott saying no way?
Cause he didn't know we're like in this event.
He didn't know we were in a marathon. I'm Jeb.
Looking pretty.
Pretty.
Nico.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Why does he have a bird there?
Who is that?
That's Nico.
Nico. Wait a minute. I think we're on the camera now because this is Brad.
Is that Dom? How exactly how I pictured? Wait, what? He's exactly how I pictured. My new friend is what? Jeb, the audio not working on stream.
Are we good? Hello, I'm Jeb.
Hey, I'm Dom.
Okay, here we go. All right, my name is Jeb.
Dom.
This is Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom. This game was licensed by Nickelodeon, licensed to THQ, and developed by Heavy Iron Studios. Very underrated game company.
A gem.
An absolute gem.
A gem.
This game is a very interesting speedrun, and it has a lot of hidden tricks, which you wouldn't expect for a Spongebob Squarepants video game.
When they made the game, I don't think they cared about what you can climb on. They just said you can climb on everything in this game.
They just said, do whatever you want to your heart's content. Released in 2003.
I didn't know that.
Oh. Alright. So. Alrighty then. So for starters, we play the game without saves because, you know, saves time. Okay. Okay. Alright. Well, you know when you're good on timer. Oh, wait. I gotta refill this. Water, quick.
Crap. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm just sitting here. I'm ready.
Rocket, do you have a timer? You have a timer? Okay. Give me a countdown.
Alright, 3,
2, 1, go!
Woo! Here we go. Okay. Alright, here we go. So the first goal, like a whole goal of the whole game, the 80% category is to beat the final boss without cheats. And so the fastest way to do that is to collect 75 golden spatulas, which are equivalent to stars in Mario games, to get to the final boss and then defeat the boss. Oh, I'm fucking up. The final boss. So right now we're in Spongebo's house. We have to collect 50 shiny objects to grab this spatula hidden behind the closet, and then we can now get out of this house because you need one spatula to get out of the house.
I didn't think you were this prepared.
Now, like I said, we need 75 spatulas to beat the game. Similar to Mario 64, you need 70 stars to unlock the door behind the hidden final Bowser boss. But in this game, there's no backwards running around jump, so we can't skip that. We just have to play through the game and just be honest with it. So here's the first trick, the most important trick in the whole run. We're disabling the hand. So what this means is that when we disable the hand, we can go out of bounds. Because when you're out of bounds for a certain period of time, the hand will grab you, but what's happening here is we triggered a loading zone while the hand was grabbing us. Then the hand went and grabbed us again, and we went into the loading zone, so the hand was not able to come back out. So as long as we're careful around the out-of-bounds areas, we can stay out of bounds. And in fact, the first trick used for disabling the hand is coming up right here. So normally the hand would take me as I jumped down that canyon or whatever, but because the hand was disabled, it didn't stop us. So we can just jump down and grab that spatula there.
Usually you have to like get a wedgie from a bungee.
Yeah.
No,
now,
nope.
You might notice that I just immediately warped somewhere. Well, when you're near an area where an objective is, or you grab a golden spatula, you can immediately warp to where the area where the spatula is. So what happened is, you're normally supposed to climb up that whole mountain to get there, but because we used because we disabled the hand, we could just jump down and grab it, and because that task was already on our task list, we could immediately warp to it. So now, this is the first example of just weird geometry in this game. You shouldn't be able to climb up there, but you just sort of can. And you might be noticing that I'm collecting these socks. These are Patrick socks. They're equivalent to the blue coins in Super Mario Sunshine, because collecting 10 gives you a golden spatula, but in this game, the total count, the spatulas you get from the socks do count towards unlocking the door to the final boss.
Pushing a simple button is the most satisfying. Push, 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 push.
Shout out to Abbott. You know, Luigi Dog, you want a little shout out right now?
So with these tikis, they give me these things called shiny objects. That's what they're called, shiny objects, and they're equivalent to coins in Mario games. But what they do in this game is you can buy gates to go to new areas, and you can even trade shiny objects to for golden spatulas directly. But in this game, what you'll notice throughout my one is every tiki that I hit is on purpose. I need a certain number of shiny objects to unlock certain gates and all that stuff. So this trick is dilemma skip. Ooh, ouch. That was rough. So this game has knockback akin to Super Smash Bros. If you're familiar. So what happens is when you're damaged by an enemy, you'll get knocked back, as you can see. So because this Duplicatotron that spawns enemies. Wow. Okay then, that is weird with the dilemma skip.
It's a really specific trick.
It requires a lot of practice. So what happens is when you're in the air, the knockback is increased by like 3 times for whatever reason. Oh, there we go.
Nice. Yeah, pretty much it's
I'm
like...
not switching the head. I have the headset on. So yeah, what happened there is we could use the knockback to just make us skip that whole combat arena, if you will.
No.
Alright, so now we're going to Squidward's house. So in this mission, Squidward asks how he could help, or SpongeBob asks Squidward how he could help him in this time of trouble with all the robots, and he asks him, well, maybe you could just jump around like an idiot. So you literally jump around like an idiot 10 times, and he gives you a spatula.
Wait, are you gonna go for it?
What?
First try Squidward's house?
Oh my god, I couldn't get the meme! So anyways, we would normally have to spawn a bunch of platforms and stuff to get on Squidward's house, but because the geometry is so awkward, you can just jump on his house and get on the top. Now, that golden underwear I collected is health.
Gives you an extra, like,
Gives you an
health.
extra point of health. There's 3 of them in the game. In this run, we only collect 2 of them, but really, if you're running the game, then you're good enough to only need 3. So this is downtown Bikini Bottom. It's if I'm being honest, it's a fairly boring level.
You gotta grind a bunch of shiny
Shiny
objects.
to start. So, like I said, I need every shiny object or every tiki I get to get shiny objects is on purpose. So right now, there is a sea needle, just like in Seattle. There's a sea needle in this level, and there's a gate. There is a gate locked behind said sea needle, and I need 2,100 shiny objects to get to this to unlock the gate. Oh shoot, I'm doing this incorrectly. I'm doing this hella incorrectly. And so because there's a ton of tikis here, we could just go on here to farm them. There we go. And then there's these little buttons on the bottom of the tikis, which is just a mission in the game.
Pushing a simple button is the most satisfying. Push, 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 push.
Alright. Can you do it all over again?
Yeah, because we're farming tikis, I'm just going to reload the level and collect more of them until we get to 2,100. Or near 2,100, then we'll make our way to the sea needle.
I'd like to note that we have a new donation incentive.
Just met the Spongebob.
If you decide to donate to the Throw Kirby Plushette Runner donation, minimum is $1. For every donation, someone will throw a Kirby plush at the runner. This only applies to in-person runners. It's a thing you can do. I don't know what else there really is to say about it, but
You
it's
have
a,
my
it's
consent.
it's a thing you can do.
So anyways, you might be asking, why didn't we go for the spatula when we immediately got it? Well, it's faster just to grab the spatula the second trip around the
3
tikis.
years running. Thank you.
And also, you might be noticing I just like skipped a fair portion of the level. That's just more of the weird geometry.
If you collect 11 of these like wheels, you get to unlock a golden spatula. And
Yeah,
it's just,
and every level, there's always some sort of unique collectible to the level. And this level, it's wheels. And for just about every collectible, the reward is a golden spatula. Alright, so now we're making our way to the sea needle. This is the sponge ball. Not really important right now, but it just makes you go faster. And that's why we needed the 2100 shiny objects to make our way to the skate to go into the sea needle. Now the sea needle it's a run killer. It's very much skill based, but also very much luck based. Because we have to do this thing called extreme bungee where you hit these tikis, and it does run in a cycle, but the hitboxes for the tiki, like the collision for the tikis, is just really weird, which is why I say it's also luck based.
and you actually only need to hit one of them technically. It's like a purple tiki.
That purple tiki is the flying one. The flying
Keeps them
one is
floating.
what's keeping them floating. So if you just go for the purple ones, which are at the bottom, so they're a bit harder to hit, then you're good to go.
There's also like in the later ones, there's like exploding ones you can just like kind of bump into, and they'll destroy them
They're
all.
right there, yeah. Oh, okay. Alright. Watch me get hit by Chuck.
Number 1 on the Bikini Bottom scavenger hunt. 3 years running.
Alright, so
If you get hit by this guy,
yeah,
you'll-
he has aimbot project. I'm sorry, Dom.
No, you're all good.
He has projectile aimbot, so he knows where you're going.
I'll commit.
So you have to be standing still, like right before he throws it.
And also, if Jeb hangs like, if he gets stuck below one of the
Oh, how can I
tikis,
forget that?
yeah, if he gets stuck below one of the tikis, like even in the movie game, it glitches, and for some reason you can just keep endlessly like going down.
So right now, I have to reach back to the top. I can't just dive again. I have to reach back to the top. But if I hit underneath the tiki, the game thinks I'm at the top, and then that somehow allows me to just keep doing it over and over. Pretty weird game.
Yeah.
You have a donation, did you say?
Somehow I don't think
So
he's
this
done
is
it.
a rather long one. $5 from Void, who says, "Stupid, stupid, Dom, stupid. How could you be so stupid? How could you be so mentally weak to give up your top secret smoothie recipe? My smoothie recipe. Oh no, my smoothie. I'm gonna tell you this one time, okay? If you, and one time only. If you use my top secret smoothie recipe without my permission, there's gonna be hell to pay, okay? I said, if you use my top secret smoothie recipe without my permission, there's gonna be hell to pay, okay? So I know it's out there, and I know anybody can access my top secret smoothie recipe at any time because I foolishly leaked it, and I don't know why I did that. But if you want to use my top secret smoothie recipe, just please ask my permission before you use it, okay? That's the least you can do, okay?
I love you, Tanner. Oh my god.
I actually don't know what that means.
Do you remember the Buca de Beppo video? That's the same guy. Oh man.
The curbs.
Curb time.
And he donated to throw Kirby.
Andy?
Andy?
No,
And-
no, not Andy, but and he.
And he.
Oh.
Andy would do it.
But,
He'd donate like 3 times.
You're getting hit by a Kirby now.
Alright.
Yeah.
They're gonna donate. They're gonna do
Oh,
the.
crap.
Everyone's gonna donate the Kirby thing at SpongeBob's Dream. All right. So what's going on here? That spatula is much easier than it should be to get. There's an invisible wall around the spatula, but I
You can
guess
jump through it.
they just didn't make it long enough, so I can just jump up there as SpongeBob if I'm quick enough. And now right here, it looks like I'm just gonna kill myself, but I'm actually going into a cutscene trigger, just like that. Yeah, I do have to hit him for the little stand to come up.
Flying squirrel on the ground. There's another one.
There's another one.
I'll press the door. Shout out.
Shout out to El Presador. So, that clam there that has 2,100 objects, we would normally need to hit that clam, to pay that clam to have a bunch of Texas symbols, the ones I'm flying on earlier, to come down, to grab that spatula I got from Spongebob earlier, but because they didn't make that wall long enough, we can just go as Spongebob. And also right there, what I did there with the robot is I jumped on its head to just skip a lot of this level. So that's...
I haven't played this game normally in so long, I even forgot that you have to use the clam to like actually continue on.
Yeah. Yeah, so I moved to the right a tad there because he does have an aimbot that will screw you up.
It knocks you back way too far than what it actually should.
Because you're in the air. So some people ask, why don't you just grab the spatula first? Well, it's a tad quicker just to switch to Spongebob and then grab the spatula. Also, you'll notice that I might be activating the buttons on the floor a little bit differently, like different timing. And so what happens there is if you jump and then like really quickly, it's a fairly precise timing, hit the button afterwards, it'll just do it immediately as soon as you hit the ground pound. It's because the hitbox on it is always active, but the hitbox is also fairly small, so it's, I don't know, you can just exploit that.
Here there's a wheel you can grab, and you can just like, if you take damage, you can just grab it.
Yeah, normally we're supposed to clear this before I hit the wheel, but we can just use a little damage trick. If I hit it at a precise angle, we can just skip that. Oop. And so now that saves a lot of time because we would normally have to walk all the way back to that button right there, but because we use that little trick, we just grab the spatula and we are almost done with Downtown Bikini Bottom.
And what that button also does back there, when he first got in here, he actually used a door to climb up and grab the sock. Usually when you press the button, it would like spawn a trampoline, I think.
Yeah, it would spawn a trampoline.
And you would grab the sock at the very top that he grabbed right away. All these like little details, always like, you figure out you can climb literally on everything in this game, and you use it to your advantage.
And
so
so
much.
speaking of climbing on everything, we're going into Goo Lagoon, which is one of the top few technical levels in the game.
Just because of one trick usually.
No, you have lots of climbing on like the flags, and then you have kids.
The kids, yeah.
I hate the kids.
The
you'll see the kids later on in the run.
No one likes that part.
It's a backtracking part.
So like upcoming here, probably in like a minute, you're gonna see Jeb do this really weird glitch where Spongebob, he's gonna collide like with, what's it called?
The tower.
Yeah, he's gonna collide with the tower and he's gonna get stuck in like mid motion, and you'll see him like fly across the stage basically.
Let me take a moment to say a couple things. So everyone's gonna make a funny joke about this. Hey, if they're underwater, why are they getting hurt by water? Well, that's goo, because it's Goo Lagoon, and so we need the goo to get this one frame. Oh, not quite. So, Dom, explain one frame jumps for me.
Alright, one frame jumps. Basically, when you take damage, if you jump at a specific time, you get to like kind of refresh and get your second jump again. So you can get in pretty high areas. And right here, what he did was he like collided with the tower and he gets stuck there. And he gets to fly across the map until he hits like a standing state.
Nobody knows why this works, but it just does. And normally we would have to connect all those towers to all these sunlights. I was not fast enough. It's really, you have to be quick on that jump. You have to do some really tedious mission, but using this glitch, we can just skip that mission, which is good because nobody likes the original way anyways.
This trick is actually really hard too. You can get stuck on the tower. You can like do something where you fly back and forth and you don't get enough distance.
I should mention, so we're playing on the Xbox 360, which is an emulated version of the Xbox, and this trick is really hard. It's significantly harder on the Xbox opposed to the GameCube and PS2.
You do it again here too.
Yeah, I do it again here too, and it's because the console has more resources. It's more powerful, so it's able to render more collision, I guess, and that's what makes it more difficult. In the European version, which runs at 50 frames as opposed to 60, that glitch is like near impossible. So runners don't even go for it, but it is sometimes possible if you're curious. And so now that sponge glide glitch, that's the name of it. Oh, we got both of them. What that allows us to do is we just hit a loading zone that allows us to take us back. Normally, where I entered is after you finish the whole level, but because of the sponge glide glitch, we're basically playing the level backwards.
Yep.
And
Here-
you'll see that a couple times throughout the run with certain levels.
Here he's just gonna take advantage that. I mean, this is really easy to get to.
Yeah.
It's kind of a hard trick, but it's pretty easy once you learn it.
It just
so.
takes a little bit of practice.
Usually you have to freeze the ice underneath and walk around, or freeze the water.
Yeah,
in the
that's
ice.
that fruit there, that white thing.
Ice cube.
As Patrick, he has the ability to throw objects, and he can throw that onto goo, and then you can walk on the water like Jesus Christ. Okay, so like Jesse Christ. So
You can take
What-
advantage of.
what you'll see, what I did there is because everything in this game has collision, just about everything. I just walked on those flags, and you normally have to play a clam to get to the top of this. Oh, whoopsies! To get to the top of this tower or whatever. But if you're precise enough, there we go. You can do it without having to pay anything. And then this is another example of collecting a spatula, getting it added to our task, and then warping back. Now this warp is important because we spawn as Patrick. So we might be going a little bit backwards, but because we're Patrick, we don't have to switch to him at the bus stop. So what happened there was throughout the level, there are explain boxes for me.
Boxes?
Yeah,
Like
teleportation boxes.
Like teleport. All right. So I mean, when you load like how Jeb loaded through the spatula, already like in the game's memory, they load the boxes, right?
Yeah.
So he just took that box and it automatically let him here because the game like you're supposed to already have that box loaded technically. And right there, what he did was he just skipped a cutscene by dying when
yeah,
he did the cutscene.
the reason why that cutscene ended earlier is because I fell into the goo before it started,
No.
and then because I was in the air long enough, it allowed me to do a death.
Right here, he's still going backwards on like technically through the
this
level.
This is another example of the box trick. If you open the box number 2, the one that generally takes to the end of the level, it'll open both for whatever reason.
Yep.
Because we're playing the level backwards, we can just do all that.
Yeah. It's supposed to all be loaded. The game thinks.
This is another example of going backwards. The spatula is right there for us to grab. Hammer.
Patrick.
Alright.
So yeah, he just has to collect socks now.
Oh, whoopsies. Alright, so now we're going to the first boss fight. Robo Sandy. Weird ass boss.
The bosses in this game, it doesn't fit a Spongebob game. None of this does.
Yeah, it's totally like a heavy, like the creator's freedom kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but they had to come up with something.
It isn't in the show, but you know, it fits, whatever.
It goes with the robot theme.
Yep.
So bosses don't have a lot of tricks to them. Well, at least the major bosses don't. What I did there was because I walked up to the boss quickly, it just made the cycle go quicker. That's about as technical as they get, just manipulating cycles and stuff. Well, at least the 2 major bosses besides the final boss.
Yeah, final boss, they found something that just you'll see it, but it's pretty crazy how easy it is too.
Oh yeah, very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know when a good time to read a donation is.
No.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we have $100 from Fake Mango.
Ooh!
Yeah, who says, I'm ready. Plus, shout out to my boyfriend Count Gooby. Love you, dear. Keep up the goob work. Heart. That's so sweet. Thank you for the very generous donation.
So there's not a whole lot of tricks to this. The last 2 phases of the boss.
Yeah, if there's any more.
This
just
part,
bring
we're just
them.
playing as Patrick, and this is example of him doing the throw. We throw the head onto there, and it
For some reason, you
goes
can
crazy.
pick up a giant head with ease.
The old clothesline move.
Doesn't Patrick have underwear on?
The model.
In like the model, but they never show the underwear for some reason.
Oh, also, so normally what you have to do to get across Sandy's legs and arms there is you normally have to just simply jump over them, but for some reason, if you're right next to the clothesline as she's starting up, you just don't get hit by it. And predicting where she's gonna go just comes with experience and doing the boss over and over and over.
This is amazing.
Ooh, I was wrong there, but still good move.
I have another friend who wants to call out. Colin. He used to go to my school, but he's watching you, Jeb. Cheering you on right now.
Thank you, Colin.
Shout out to McBurdo.
The old clothesline move.
Whoopsies. Also, what happened there was he did the voice line early. For some reason, there's a different collision, different like flags in the game for when the enemy is actually hit and when that fish guy says his line. He's normally supposed to say his line whenever. He's normally supposed to say his line when you hit the enemy, but for some reason, if you like hit the enemy just a tad off, he will still say it. It's as if there's different hitboxes and flags for when the enemy says the line and when the enemy actually does get hit, or when the fish says the line when the enemy gets hit. What's up? 100 times? I will do hard mode Spongebob. I will do hard mode Spongebob. And that's the first that's the first major final boss.
Still throw a Kirby at him once.
Hey,
Okay, so I guess we've put the $100 donation towards Kirby throws.
All right. Just do it, yeah. Okay, so so throughout this game, you get your moves as you play throughout the game. So what happened there? Oh my goodness, this is not a good robots. So we just unlocked the bubble bowl. You'll notice the bubble bowl as I entered the level, because the bubble gives you a small little boost. Oh, sniped! Yes, that's very difficult to get. The bubble bowl can also do that. It's supposed to get your targets at a long
Hit
distance.
enemies and
Yeah.
all those things. But it's mainly used for one trick.
Now we are getting into the sponge ball storage glitch. So yeah, you saw me earlier in downtown Bikini Bottom. I was as the sponge ball for about 5 seconds, which allows you to roll very quickly. But you can store it in this game.
If you just if you don't touch the ground for more than like half a second around.
The way it works is, yeah, as soon as your recovery on your jumping animation ends, you turn to the sponge ball. But if you are not holding any direction, if you're just holding neutral, you will. Oh, there we go. Okay.
You got it? Oh.
If you hold neutral, it'll force SpongeBob to play his recovery when he lands on the ground. So that means you can hold the sponge ball for about half a second. And also, what happened there is we just skipped about a third of the game. You're supposed to have 40 spatulas to get into that area, but using sponge ball, we stored the sponge ball and got on top of the police station. We were able to use it to just roll, yeah, jump and roll right over. And also, yeah, normally we have to do a wall jump across those to get that, but
we're speedrunners. We're fast.
We're fast as
We're
hell.
gamers.
We're gamers. Yeah, we can just use the bash if we're precise enough. And so the reason why I warped there is because we talked to crabs. Talking to crabs will give you the task in your task list, and it's faster just to pause and warp to it than to walk up to the Krusty Krab and press enter. And also, I should mention about the warping in this game. The menu in which you warp will go as fast as you want it to. You can do 30 inputs a second because this game runs at 60 frames per second, and it's generally faster to just go through the menu than just like
to walk somewhere.
to walk somewhere most of the time. Okay, so
you can go really
I-
quick.
Okay.
Wait,
okay.
sure.
well, it's Dream.
Oh, I guess yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, who's going first?
We'll talk because
We'll talk,
Yeah,
and then when it
you
ends, you
definitely-
can do the.
You should absolutely go first.
Okay, so this is SpongeBob's Dream, one of the most technical levels in the game, and this is an introduction to oil skip. Well, we only do it once throughout the one, but oil skip is definitely one of the biggest hurdles to run in this game.
use the damage to.
It's a damage boost.
And then you have like a pretty specific like.
Oh, did we get a
bash.
first try?
I think you got it.
First try. Okay, so what happens is I use the damage boost, but if I slide on like the very ledge of a of a platform, it'll give me more frames to do a frame perfect jump for whatever reason, and so that makes the trick easier than it looks. It just takes a lot of practice.
You keep your
setting
speed
up.
when you bash.
And-
like if you don't
Yeah.
hit the ground, like yeah, it's just really precise.
And
but
so that was the first hard trick in my route. Here's the second one. This one just takes a lot of practice and precision. This is, I believe it's called a slide skip. And so what happens here is we'll go off the slide. The reason why I throw a bubble ball as I go down the slide is it just like lets your momentum go at high speed. Oh, oh no! Momentum goes to high speed as soon as you start going down. Now, I almost had that, but I missed the jump because the jumping out of there is very precise, and I was unlucky. And
it's so glitchy.
pressed
too.
a tad early. The thing I should mention is Spongebob has 3 different damage animations, which makes the frame perfects inconsistent because you have to react to the damage animation. Oh, yeah, I didn't jump early enough. You have to react to the damage animation and then get the frame perfect. So it's both RNG and skill based.
It's weird with the boxes too. Like, I don't know how they messed up on like making a square in this game, but you can literally like clip through almost
Yeah.
every like part of the box. So here, like when he jumped a little bit too late, he's actually like falling down on the clip that he's on the
There
box.
we go. Okay, I think I'm done explaining this. So well, one moment. Can we finish this level? It's like 1 more minute. So we're going to Squidward's Dream, and we're gonna be doing it earlier because it's a lot easier with a move we get later on in the game. So we just went there to add it to our task list, and we'll just do it later while we backtrack. So this is the last spatula in this level, at least for now. So normally what you do is you have like a ball rolling down here, but for whatever reason you can still just jump and get it.
They didn't really think
So
about
there's
that.
no reason to do that. There is a trick where you can get a 1 frame damage
boost.
boost, but that's so inconsistent that I'm not that high of a level to go. And you can read that donation.
Okay, we have $5 from Tyler Cheetah, who says, Bucca de Beppo is a family style.
Thank you, Tyler.
He also put his $5 towards Nate Burnett as the player name in Earthbound.
Jeff, you have
Okay.
the greatest laugh.
All right, so this is the Murmulaire. This is also a fairly technical level, especially when we backtrack on it. So, oh, we got the 1 frame. Yeah, if you get a 1 frame, the whole time you're in the air carries the damage boost. So normally we just have to get around like this whole lobby, but we can just jump on here. Please tell me to get it. I got it. All right. Sometimes it's a tad inconsistent. Sometimes you'll fall down, and normally the hand would grab you, but the hand's disabled, so it won't grab you. And you can jump on a bunch of platforms to get up there. But yeah, that's the backup strat in case something does go wrong.
No.
The Murmulaire.
And so we're gonna do another 1 frame jump. You can get it without a 1 frame, but I go for it because it's easier. Oh, sick. That wasn't a 1 frame, but I still got it. So normally you have to go like to the top of this level with the slide to get it, but because you're just barely able to get on that platform, you can just bash and get the sock. So right here, this,
Everyone hated this as a kid.
Yeah.
If you played.
these are just challenges you have to do with Patrick to throw the fruit. They are very difficult as a kid, but if you just do them over and over, they do get pretty simple. And also, you'll notice that clam in the back. We will be buying that clam, or paying for that clam, because we need that to further access this level. There's no skip known yet. And like I said earlier, we can trade in shiny objects for golden spatulas directly. You can trade in 3,000 for a golden spatula, and then it goes up by the 500s every time you do it. And at the end of this route, we do go for 1 of those spatulas, if you're curious. So I do have to be careful of my shinies. Oh wait, I want to go for a sip.
Sips.
This is the Spinning Towers of Power. This is a weird mission. So
Actually, I don't even get how this one works too much.
So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to hit everyone once. And you would have no idea to do that as a kid because you have no indication of which ones you've hit. Which is very strange. And you don't have to throw the melon, you can also do the slam as Patrick, which is, because one melon isn't enough to throw all of them, we do one or two slams at the end. Now, here comes a big skip, and hopefully I don't mess it up. Here comes a fairly large skip. We can use momentum from the slide to get into an area we're not supposed to get until the end of the level. So we're gonna slide on the edge here to gain momentum.
Oh yeah, you get stuck here.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Alright, I think this is good. I think I got it. I did not get it. That sucks. I don't think I had enough momentum there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one's kind of finicky. This game is very touchy and sensitive, so in some areas your control is very
Limited.
yeah. Oh no, I missed it. Alright, Jeb, don't choke.
It's a hard trick. I mean, to some people it looks easy, but you have to perfectly like land on the edge right there to get another jump.
And you have to. Oh
That's
no!
a little bit. No, you got it.
I got it. Oh,
I didn't think you'd get it.
I almost paused too. So yeah, you have to land on the other edge for a very specific amount of time. Not too early, not too late to get there. And
Loading
so what
zone.
that was is that's a loading zone. That's the trigger for the boss in this level, Prawn. And the reason why we're not fighting Prawn right now, we're saving him for grinding when we get the bubble bowl or the cruise bubble power as we beat the second boss. He is certainly a lot easier with the cruise bowl.
This game gets crazy once you get this like
Yeah.
power up.
And so this level, we can skip just about this whole section of the level just by climbing and damage boosting. Yeah, that was no mess up right there. I'm proud of that. And also these buttons in the level. You'll notice how I'm throwing these balls at the buttons. We need 4 of these buttons, as you saw in the bottom left corner, which will give us
like
a
the collectible
It'll
thing.
give us a spatula, just like every level has their own unique collectible. And so this level certainly has seen some.
It's alright.
Seen
No
some-
one likes this level. No one likes this level. But recently, there's a glitch found where you can clip through the spatula.
Clip through that glass.
I don't know if Jeb's gonna do it because it was literally just found like 2 days ago.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty specific and hard. So
Yeah, doing it casually.
already sucks.
It takes like 3 minutes long. If you mess up, it takes another 3 minutes. And it'll save a lot of time for 100%, most certainly.
Yep. But yeah, it was literally
Ooh,
just
whoopsies.
found.
Yeah, this is the last button. And so that unlocks that button. We don't need to press that button because that button drops downstairs for the boss room. But because we use that trick with the loading zone with Patrick to go to the boss room, we already added the boss to our task list. So we have no need to go back.
We're just
until-
gonna grab a
until it's
spatula
done.
up here.
Yeah, up here there's a spatula on top of all of the buildings, on 3 buildings. And the reason why I didn't go for it earlier is because it's just faster to go for it while we're going to Sand Mountain. I don't have enough shinies. Yeah, you have to be really specific with the shinies and safe with the shinies. Right now we need 1500 to go into Sand Mountain because there are 3 slopes, like slides. Ooh.
Sand Mountain.
What was his name?
It was Cedric Jorky. Yeah, we got botted. It was obviously like a clickbait link.
What's a clickbait? Oh, whatever. Sorry.
Anyway, so we have another donation. Just let me know when a good time is.
Let me explain the level first. Okay. So in this level, there's 3 slopes, just like the one I went into, and all 3 of them require a pay. In this route, we only need to go through through one of them, which is the one I'm doing right now. And you need to pay 1500 for every slope, which is why we need to be safe on shiny objects. And so you also, and like I said about the tiki thing, every tiki I get is on purpose for the shiny count. This same thing goes for here. I'm risking my life to get some of these tikis because it's necessary to the route. And you can read the donation.
Okay, so we have $25 from Sex Rex, and it's
Ooh.
literally just the entire script of Steamed Hams.
That's awesome.
I don't think we have time for that.
There's nothing like the smell of bubbles in the morning.
Thank you, Sex Rex.
Smells like
Sex
You
Rex.
gotta play me Puyo, dude.
I love how they give it like really awesome music when you're down on his tongue.
Yeah. What's funny about his tongue is that so this is the first SpongeBob game to have him slide on his tongue for sliding levels, and every game afterwards, even ones that aren't heavy iron, have that happen in the game. And Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Bots, he does that in a sliding level, and I immediately recognized that as a kid, like, hey, that's from the heavy iron SpongeBob games. And so I think that's pretty funny that it's like a staple in SpongeBob video games.
Use his tongue.
There is the series. I know the lore. I know the lore. All right. You know, it's crazy to think that in just such little time we've made it this far in the game.
I know already more. Almost.
Like it usually takes me it took me like a few weeks as a kid to beat this game. Not like just beat it. And then now I can do it in less than 2 hours. Like that's really crazy to think.
Well, recently, like even this past like 2017, the speedrun for this game has just advanced so much.
Yeah, like 3 minutes chipped down mainly just because of reroutes.
Everything. I mean, this game definitely was not technical like probably 2016. Then 2017 came around and it's just like it's gotten really like frame perfect on some.
There's lots of frame perfect tricks. What you'll notice about this game is that for every hard trick, there's an easier one to it, which makes it a very oh whoopsies, I did not mean to go on that one. Which makes it a very accessible speed game, and you'll notice a lot of route changes between different runners because all of them have a very different skill level. Alright, so in this bungee, we normally have to pay a clam to go down this bungee. Oh no, I missed it.
But we don't have the hand, so...
Because the hand is disabled, we can just simply... Thank you, Gary. Because the hand is disabled, we can just simply go down the bungee. Also, just want to be sure of this chuck. Yeah, normally the hand would take us, but... Here.
She can just walk on water.
Yeah. And so, this is another part of the necessity for Patrick's socks. We're going to trade in... We have 20 socks. We're going to trade them in for 2 spatulas, which will give us 40 spatulas. And like I mentioned earlier, there's a gate that needs 40 spatulas, and every gate has a major boss.
You know why that
has a major boss to it.
You know why the environment gets messed up in this game? I don't...
This is the Xbox 360 version, or not version. I forgot where to warp. This game came out on original Xbox, PS2, and GameCube for this version of this game, and the Xbox 360 has an emulation feature for all the PS2 games that sold like over 1 million units or something. And so for this game, the emulation, it's great, but it's not perfect. The slows are a tad slower than original Xbox. Original Xbox is the fastest, by the way. So because it's only a tad, you can still be competitive with it, and
it's crazy though. If you go like on the GameCube, loading a zone probably takes...
Loading altogether takes like 3 to 4 minutes longer.
It's insane, like...
And it's even worse if you're a low-level player and you need to reset the level.
Yep.
With if you're not very good at the tricks. So playing on slower consoles can be harsh. Now for this boss is yeah.
It doesn't belong in the game, but it's
it's mainly RNG based sorta. It has manipulation to it, which is inconsistent, which is why I say it's RNG based. And it's very easy. It's very easy to mess up, like I was just about to say. And when you do mess up, it does lose a lot of time. It's just a very slow boss. It's hard to pay attention to, and if you're not paying attention, you will mess up and get it.
It's not fun to watch. Or not watch, but not fun to like.
It's not even fun. It's not even fun to play against.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
I have another donation as well.
Let's go ahead.
Sleepwalker92 donates $5 and says, "Who can do the best SpongeBob laugh?"
Oh my God! You must have been watching my stream last night.
Let's try go.
Yeah, go down.
My voice can't get like that high pitch, and I'm sick.
Dom, that's $25.
It's $25. I'd do anything for $25 then. Wow. I even just tried. I just can't get that high pitch.
So for this phase of the boss, while we're playing as Sandy, with these Texas symbols, every time you hit one, it drops down these boxes, and that's necessary because Robo Patrick here is gonna hit a lot, like hit that line up there if you can see it, and drop some goo down.
And the robot is down.
Such as right now, he dashes towards the center of the field, pulls down the goo, and that's why we need the boxes. And so what happened there was I got hit on purpose because that cycle where he's spitting that goo out of his mouth, that lasts kind of a while, and it's just faster to get hit by it and end it early, and have him do his little taunt just to go on to the next cycle. And also, like I said, every major boss, every major boss except for the final one gives you a new power-up, and we'll be seeing what the power of the cruise bubble after this boss.
Overpowered.
Overpowered.
One more douse with that stuff, and Spongebob will be back in the ring.
So far, this boss hasn't been all that bad, except for the one time we got hit as Spongebob in the first phase.
Megan called you pro.
I'm pro?
She said you're pro even when you're talking.
Sometimes, I'm certainly guilty of this. Players can get greedy and go for robo-pat early as they're swinging on those flyers.
Spongebob is back in the fight.
Same thing happened there. I just ended that his spitting cycle early as Spongebob, and I only took one hit of health because if you couldn't tell by now, goo does not take your health in this game. But in the Squarepants movie, the game coming up, he does in fact take damage to goo.
It limits you a lot, actually. Like tricks that you can
in
do.
movie
like
game, it does.
Yeah, tricks in the movie game you can only try like once or twice at most.
Also, you notice that I was standing on that ledge in particular because it's part of the manipulation for this boss. Nobody really knows why it's like this, but if you stand in certain areas, he's more likely to end up in a position, in a specific position, and so we want to get him to end up in the position on the right there where there's no moving platforms, there's no conveyor belts. Because there's no conveyor belts, it makes it a lot easier to aim with the bowling ball.
My ass hurts. To be honest.
Now, unfortunately, the manipulation didn't work very well that time because he was a bit to the right of where I wanted him to go. So it is a bit luck-based. Which is unfortunate because you'd have to walk all the way back here and it just wastes a lot of time. In fact, on my PB, he was in a very bad spot that I actually missed the whole cycle and he had to do it over again.
And around you go.
So I cannot wait to destroy that time. Okay, still a little bit unlucky. So this was, if I'm being honest, this was not a very good industrial park. That's the name of the level. The only thing that could have gotten worse is if my character died. Yeah. So now we have the cruise bubble, and we're going into probably the most technical level in the game, rock bottom.
Oh, rock bottom. You should explain it as you're going, like what cruise boosting is.
Yeah. So, also, if I stand like behind a taxi or on top of a taxi, it'll allow me to skip the animation of like the spatula unlocking it. But there is an animation when you go up to a taxi booth that you haven't noticed, kind of like a Mario 64 where Mario has to do the power of the stars animation where he has a star in the air. So, why am I shooting rockets at walls? This is called cruise boosting. It is a double frame perfect trick in which it allows Spongebob's speed to be multiplied by over 2. And, well, not only his speed, but his movement options altogether. You'll just see throughout the run.
You get to hear this annoying sound.
Yeah, every time you do it, even if you fail it, you have to hear this annoying sound. And this is the punishment for failing the cruise boost. Not only do you lose time, but you have to hear this noise. Multiplied over, and come on. Yeah, because I'm playing on Xbox 360, the frame rate isn't as great. And that can make it harder to cruise boost. Even at it being a frame perfect trick, it still makes it difficult. So rock bottom is certainly the level that gets most exploited with this trick because we're just going all over the place. We're in places we're not supposed to be in yet.
Possibilities are endless. With
yeah,
this
this is also another level in which we play it backwards. For example, I'm supposed to be on a slide to get that spatula, but because I have the cruise boost, I just went around like the whole level to grab it. That's why there was a timer there. It was waiting for me to get on a slide so the timer could start, but I didn't get on the slide. I just used my cruise boost to get across there.
If it isn't obvious enough, like
Oh, whoopsies.
with the cruise boost, whenever he does like a jump, like the bash where he goes up really high, he keeps moving forward.
Yes.
So this allows him to like do a bunch of cuts that you shouldn't be able to do in the game. Like, yeah, it just gives you an extra boost everywhere. So
Ooh, whoopsies. This
it's
is
really useful.
Okay, I'm worried about this. I'm just being on the safe side. I missed that jump, and the thing about cruise boosting is, so normally in any 3D platformer, including this one, if you're facing forwards and you press back, you'll immediately turn backwards, right? Well, when you're cruise boosting, your movement is the same control as the bowling ball. So if I hit straight back, it would make me either turn left or right, not straight backwards as normal. So it can make movement pretty finicky. Like, that's why I'm not making any sharp turns as going up. I'm just slightly moving to the sides because I have the movement control of the bowling ball, but I have access to all the Spongebob tools.
Even though it gives you a bunch of options to have the cruise boost, it also limits you a ton, like movement-wise to left or right. It just feels like, I don't know, it doesn't feel right, but
So like I said earlier, for every hard trick in this game, there's an easier trick, and this is Rock Bottom Museum. I do it in probably the easiest way possible with a death warp, but that's not a whole lot to mention. I just mentioned that you can get a good time with doing like really easy tricks. I'd say 113 is a good time for this game. So basically, what we can do with these walls, or these little tires, lights things, is if we go through perfectly, we can get damaged as we're going through there.
and stay on the tire.
And stay on the tire. It'll just let us go, because we're hanging on to it. It lets us go through, and it won't push us back. It won't restrict us in any way. So in my route, what I'm doing right now is I'm purposely getting hit because I'm gonna do a damage warp, or a death warp per se. Also, because this is a kids game, if you haven't noticed yet, it has infinite lives. There's nothing really restricting you. So I think, in my opinion, that makes it a lot better as a speedrun game, because say you're not very good as a trick, you can try it as many times as you want to. So if you mess up too many times, you're not going to get a game over. You can just try again.
Good riddance.
And also, like I said earlier, every level has a unique collectible to it, and this level is paintings. So it's very... Oh! I went a little bit too far forwards. There's
Yeah,
a
the
cutscene
cutscene.
trigger there, and I accidentally hit it.
Your artsy in this level. You gotta
Yeah.
collect paintings.
And so, remember that spatula I grabbed earlier with the timer and the slide? Well, that's also used for the warping function. We collected it. It's in our task list, so we can warp to it. And so now we're able to play this, play the whole level backwards now. This saves very little time, but I still like to go for it. Normally, we're supposed to be where I am standing right there just now at the end of the whole level. But we're playing it backwards right now. And we're going to do another warp with spatula. We're just going to grab this. We're going to warp to this one. And we're going to grab our last couple spatulas. I jump backwards there because if you move a bit close to Gary, it'll force you into a text box.
So here he's gonna like take advantage of.
Oh yeah.
You can climb through everything. There's like nothing holding you back, no walls, anything.
Also, what happened there was that little platform going up. It gives me upwards momentum if I jump off of it, so that's what allows me to get up there. There are alternative methods to get there using damage boosts, but I have not learned them yet. This is a fairly hard cruise boost. Got it. This whole area right here is a bit difficult.
Very precise jumps.
Yes. Okay, we got it without fail. We'll grab the final painting, and we'll be on our way to Mermalair 2.
I can like hear the water come out through these
Yeah,
headphones.
it's a loud water bottle. Oh man, oh this isn't good.
Yeah, alright.
Alright, so we're going back to the boss earlier from the Mermalair, which I said is much easier with the cruise.
This is one of the coolest tricks right here. It just, I mean, you'll see it. it kind of makes sense when you see it, but it also is like, why is it in this game? Why? How did I not think of this?
Wrong hole. Oh, I'm doing this all wrong.
Oh, you're still alive.
Excuse my poor gameplay. So that's L clipping, and if you have the if you have a cruise boost active, like I do right now. Oh wait, oh wrong lineup. If you have a cruise boost active, like I do right now, if you tap L for some reason against a wall specifically, for some reason, it'll allow you to push through it, and if the wall if the wall thickness is small enough, you can just push through it. Now let me explain what happened there with the bosses. Some of the bosses in the game are programmed really strangely. Oh my gosh. So, for some of the bosses, such as Prawn there's a trigger on the level, in which if you touch said trigger, it'll just write the boss is defeated in flags. And so, the only way we can make these, triggers is through exploits and other types of manipulation. So we use cruise boosting and put L clipping to go through the wall. L clipping through the wall to get to that trigger. There are 2 more triggers in this route, I believe. And now we're doing Save the Kids. You can do this with cruise boosting, but because of the limited horizontal movement, it is terribly difficult and not in my skill level quite yet.
It just requires so much time to actually learn. You could sit and try to do that for
there is a bit of
hours.
There is a bit of RNG to it. And what's interesting is that because Xbox is the more powerful console, and what the Xbox does is it handles everything in this part of Goo Lagoon. The Goo Lagoon Beaches is known all at the same time. I missed that. All at the same time. And so what that means is the cycle for this area on Xbox is separate from the PS2 and GameCube versions.
We were talking about this earlier. This is one of the most dreadful areas in the speedrun.
Yeah, even casually. I'm
Yeah,
just,
I mean,
just waiting for him to come towards me.
It's really RNG, and that's where cruise boost can kind of become helpful, because if you bash up, you get a little bit of momentum and you can hit them out of the boundary. But it.
Oh no, I'm gonna be honest. This isn't any easier with cruise boosting.
Really?
Well, as you can guess, because say you mess up, how are you gonna turn back?
Oh yeah.
So props to everybody who does kids with cruise boosts. How did I miss that?
How do you even hit it?
You gotta go slightly off because it's just so awkward. Okay. Alright. That took us like 2 minutes.
You can save the kids from the balloons, but then there's drown in the water.
Yeah, the name of the task is Save the Children, but
you can drown them.
Yeah, you can drown them. That's another thing I don't like about this mission. It's bullshit, and then it's not even truthful.
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Get some more stocks.
Yeah. Alright, this last one, and then we talk to Puff. Whoopsies.
I have another donation, by the way.
Another?
Yeah, is this a good time?
I think is it.
I have one more thing to explain in the game.
I don't think he needs a
Yeah, we have to do downtown after this, so it would be great to explain during downtown. 1 more minute left. So we just save the kids. That's the unique task in this level, is the balloons on the children. This is a difficult cruise boost.
All cruise boosts are kind of angle dependent, so when he does this, they're kind of not only is it frame perfect, you gotta make sure you're going at an angle when you do it.
There we go. Didn't take too long. That's definitely one of the harder cruise boosts in my route. So what I mentioned earlier in Goo Lagoon 1 is that you have to connect these towers and stuff, and once all the towers are connected correctly, it'll have a sunbeam that hits that robot. But with the cruise boost, we can just hit that robot with it. We don't have to do the tower bullshit. And we just go talk to Larry, and we are done with Goo Lagoon. You can read the donation.
Okay. We have $5 from Anonymous, who says, "This one's for the cuck in the Joyce Manor shirt. What's your opinion on Neutral Milk Hotel?"
I don't want to talk.
That's got to be some sort of inside joke.
Second half of Neutral Milk Hotel kind of sucks. The first half is good.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not a cook.
Jesse Christ. So right here, this is just forced backtracking. It literally, the name of the task is literally come back with the cruise bubble, and it's basically just like Mario 64 Rainbow Ride. So Jellyfish Fields 2, with the which uses the cruise boost to get through it faster, is one of my favorite splits in any percent. There are some infuriating areas, but it is very fun. Now, what I do on my streams generally is I get on my phone. If I can get this, my phone's fast enough, I'll record a Snapchat during this area. So if you watch my PB, you'll see me do this. All my PBs. Come on. Alright. Yo, what up? I'm in a run. I'm at Midwest Speed Fest.
This would be a perfect time for somebody to throw a Kirby plush at you. If
Post that on
only.
my story, Dom.
If only.
Your story.
No!
Did you mess it?
Yeah. I was in the air for a little bit too long, and the goo got me. I messed up my jump by just that much. So now I gotta go through that all over again.
Friends only or my story?
My story. I apologize, you have to see this again.
Do you have a power button?
No, it's on the back. It's
Really?
It's a funny phone.
What phone do you have?
LG V20.
Well, alright, I guess you're gonna get hit with another Kirby plush.
I thought I was gonna get hit by 100.
I thought so too. Ethan donates $1, yeah, okay. Ethan donates $1 and says, "I just farted into freaking stinks. Also, Oni-chan Wachiko di Suki Desu." That was hard to say because it was like separated into like each individual syllable, and I like could not process it.
Thank you for the money, Ethan.
But let's go $1 to get hit by another Kirby plush.
So, what I just attempted to do there was clip back into the map with the cruise boost. You can do that. It's fairly precise, especially with the limited horizontal movement. But it's going to be very fun to get hit by a Kirby plush while attempting to do a cruise boost.
Dude, my ass hurts so bad. This chair is so uncomfortable. It's like
Hurry up, I'm going to do a cruise boost. Did you lost it?
Did you lost it?
Did you lost it? I don't care, just throw me whenever. That's the fun of it. My mic is off center. Alright. Sir. I'm sorry, Helix. So, that was, a lot happened there. That was a cutscene skip. It was just a cruise boost manipulation, or not really manipulation. And it skipped a cutscene, so, well, actually, that's all it really skipped. So this is Drain the Lake. It's an RNG dependent task. It's fairly slow. It could potentially be routed out by what Dom mentioned earlier with the rolling ball skip. Potentially saving about 10 seconds maybe. So when I say RNG dependent, it's RNG dependent on the spawns, both where they land and how long they take to come out. So what I did there was I hit the one in the center last on purpose because if I hit the center one last, then I must be closest to the spatula. And so yeah. And we're gonna be doing another task warp with the one we just got. This is just to walk back. It's fast on Xbox because Xbox is just load times are very quick. On the other consoles, it's faster just to walk backwards. So this is more cruise boost movement. Oh, whoopsies. This is more. There we go. Yes. Is this slow? No, this is fast. What is going on? There we go. Yeah, this cruise boost movement is really fun in this level. It just makes climbing this mountain a lot easier because you can just jump over these gaps. I can hear myself downstairs. Hi, Gooby.
Jeb,
Oh.
you got it, Jeb. No.
Hang on, I'm gonna try to do a death. Wait. Oh shoot. Hang on.
You gotta
Wait a minute. Oh no!
What'd you do?
Oh man, this is going well. Yeah, let me tell you. I mean, you mess up one thing and you're kind of done for in this game. It's unforgiving at times, but I can handle. Let's try this again. There we go. Also, if I was just a bit closer to the left, hugging that wall, I would be able to skip that text box. Just saves like half a second. And also, collecting this spatula is really risky.
No,
That has never happened before.
Really? Yeah, you can.
That has never happened. Okay, so
Since you're in a cruise boost, you move around when you collect like spatulas still,
yeah, so
and you can die,
yeah, you run the risk of
falling off, dying.
why. All right, I guess there's a work against that wall. All right, Bob, you wanna? There you go. Yeah. Frame losses on 360 can kind of be disheartening.
We have another donation, so as usual, just let me know when.
Yeah. I have a couple things to explain. So this is what should be the first boss in the whole game, but we can but because we have the cruise bubble, it makes it hella easier.
Should take a bath.
Yeah. Normally there's a cycle. He slams down. You hit him with just the spin, but because we have the cruise bubble, it just makes it very, very easy. All right. It looks like I'm going to shiny objects. There's also a sock down. Oh, there are lots of things happening today. I don't see happen a lot. Yeah, you're good to go for the donation.
Okay. Void donates another $3 and says, "Damn, sagging in the car video. Send friend requested at Freak Joshua Putin." He also donated those $3, again to Nate Burnett for the Earthbound player name. So that's at $8 now.
That was Bootek.
Bootek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we are done with. Well, no, we're not done with backtracking quite yet. So we're going into the kelp forest, which this is a prime example of playing a level backwards. We start the level backwards right at the start with a very like easy trick that's pretty hilarious that it's this easy. So we just do a cruise boost. Didn't get it. There we go. So we just get up here. And there we go.
Wow.
There's generally a vine that comes up when you get the final spatula, but because we just got here, there's no vine, and we're still able to get up there using cruise boosts. I'll explain this first. So this is pretty interesting. We don't have to do this time challenge. If I just go into the trigger where it starts the timer and then come back, I can use the teleportation boxes to just hit the end trigger, come back, and I just did the whole time challenge. And I forgot to mention how cruise boosting actually works. I just said it's double frame of perfect input. What you have to do is you have to be facing a wall like always. You have to press the bubble bowl and the cruise bubble on the same frame, and you have to hit them in 2 specific angles. So 2 times in one session while you're facing the wall. So it requires 2 frame perfect inputs. And because I'm playing on the Xbox, you have to use a trigger for the cruise bubble, which makes it very difficult to do not for a frame perfect with a trigger.
Your input doesn't count till you actually
yeah,
like, go all the
for
way
an
to the end.
for an analog and a physical button. Some runners will tell you to learn the game on PlayStation 2 because the DualShock 2, it's all tactile, so that makes it really easy to cruise boost on the PS2.
People just gave up on the GameCube after they found out it takes a year to load one level.
Yeah. The game just looks a lot nicer on the Xbox. There is some weird graphical stuff on the PS2 and GameCube. So right there, that was a prime example of playing the levels backwards. That spatula was just waiting to be collected, and what happened there was the freezy fruit I mentioned earlier, the white block. That's normally what we're supposed to do is play as Patrick, throw that block on the water, it'll freeze the water, walk on it like Jesus Christ, and then you can walk to that spatula. But because we have the cruise bubble, we're not supposed to be a Spongebob in that part of the level. Because we have the cruise bubble, we can just hit that. We can just hit that and then just jump straight down to the spatula. So we're going back to SpongeBob's Dream again. This is another one of the harder splits. This is Squidward's Dream. Very, very strange level, one of my favorites. It can be done very quickly with cruise boosting. So really, all you're seeing me do is just
Skip a lot of
practiced movement.
It's so easy just to mess up here and ruin the whole run. Or
Yeah,
the whole, like,
so because I messed up the first couple cruise boosts, I got the bad cycle. Ooh. Yes. All right. So if you get two cruise boosts, perfect cruise boosts at the start, you'll get the good cycle where nothing slows you down. But because I missed a couple, that symbol was a bit backwards, and I had to wait. I had to wait for it to go forwards again, which is what's considered the bad cycle. And the thing about it's really hard to manage a bad cycle with cruise boosting because you're constantly moving. If I had my controller sitting alone, I'd just be moving forwards. If I was holding backwards, I would still move a little bit forwards. All right, good cruise boost. This is Sandy's Dream. This is
We're doing the like you collide with this.
there we go. First
Yep.
try. This level is very technical and unforgiving. There's an alternative strat that's frame perfect. That it's hard to tell whether you got it too early or got it too late, and it's very this whole level is very unforgiving. And this is another example of SpongeBob. We don't know why it happens. It just does. All right. So now we are on the last level before the final boss. So like I said, all tikis I grab are on purpose. We're using one spatula from Mr. Krabs. We can trade in 3,000 shiny objects to Krabs for this route. We do one of them. And now we're going into Flying Dutchman's Graveyard. This is another very hard level. And then this is the final sock. Yep. There we go. That was fast. I bowled into there, and then it skipped the cutscene where the spatula is crossed with the number.
Just saving all these seconds, Jeb. You're crazy.
Shaving seconds. Alright, big cruise boost. Gotta be careful with this Chuck here. He can snipe you.
In my opinion, I think this is one like the coolest levels for.
God,
The speed
I
run.
was so scared there. This is a very cool level, especially for a speedrun. This is another example of using the wow, I got a really good cruise boost and I messed that up. This is another example of a level that we used to do like the task scorpion and manipulate it. Okay, that Chuck got a slow cycle, so he's not gonna aim at us. Oh, almost. Okay. There we
You
go.
can literally use any like out of bounds area to.
So, if you haven't noticed yet, if I do the bubble bowl as standard, it lets go of my cruise boost, and if I let go of my cruise boost, it gives me the power, the intended power of the cruise bubble back, and I need the cruise bubble to hit that pipe or whatever the hell that is there. And then, so this is another example of how disabling the hand can help us. So first we're gonna get the spatula here.
Shifts in the chat.
Sub shift. So normally in this area, the hand would take us back, but we are fine because we disabled him. And then this is just movement. And so yeah, this is another example of both disabling the hand and warping to tasks. So this is another bungee, and as we've done earlier with the Frosty bungee in Sand Mountain, we can just jump down and grab it. There's nothing stopping us. We can just go down there and grab it. And we're going to warp to the bungee, and we're going to go on here. This is a strat I've been practicing. I just started practicing it today.
Yep.
So let's see if I can get it. This is a newfound strat. It just makes this whole area fairly quicker. Also,
really cool too.
so because that wall there is a low wall. Actually, let me do this first and then explain. Come on, come on. Oh wait, I'm doing this all wrong.
Shoot to the right more.
Shoot to the right more.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. That's called Boat Bash. Discovered by Skip recently. By Shift recently. I'm sorry. So the cruise boost at the start there, that was a really low wall, and so because it's a lower wall, the cruise bubble will just keep on flying. It won't be stopped by the wall. So what I have to do is every attempted cruise boost, I have to manually pop the bubble, the missile in the air.
Shift is watching, by the way.
I know.
Cool.
Shift is a god at this game. He has put far too much time into this game. It's the reason why this game is as popular as it is now. Oop, and I missed that.
When I first got into this game, it was like
It was Cole.
yeah, it was just
The
Cole.
days when it was 127,
I could have had a record at one point, but you know I gave up.
and a bunch of people showed up. They just destroyed this game, and I mean it's gotten into GEQ. It's sometimes on the front page of speedrun.com.
I mean, it's getting to the point where like the amount of people that play this game is like, I mean, it's pretty incredible how much it just grew.
It's-
Like 2017 was a huge year.
Yeah. So we have two more spatulas. We have 3 more spatulas left. I just squirted on Dom.
You just spit water all over it.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
You just,
All right.
it's all over me.
Okay, funny thing about this mission. After you have that cutscene happen, the game just assumes that you're like you're at the area to fight the Flying Dutchman. So it just puts the task there, but you don't. So you're not required to defeat the other robot ship. That's what we were doing there with all the rockets and stuff. And this is another boss manipulation. This is what would be the Flying Dutchman battle. Oh no, a little bit too far there.
I seriously think like the amount of like creativity people who go to find these skips are insane. Like
Yeah.
thinking you can climb all this.
Had enough. All right. So now we have 10 socks. We're gonna trade them into Patrick. We're about to reach our goal of getting 75 golden spatulas at the, like I said at the beginning of the run. We need 75 to get to the final boss. Trade them into Patrick. We'll warp to the chum bucket and fight the final boss.
They serve food here, yes, but they don't serve love.
And surprise, surprise, it's a robot Spongebob.
And here we are, folks, the main event. A gauntlet of ever-increasing ferocity.
Oh, I whisked that. That was way off. Whisk.
Robot is down.
The whiff. Alright, here we go, here we go.
The robot better change tactics and fast.
That's another
Yeah, you
example.
should explain that. That's actually.
I'm on the final boss, dude. You explain it.
Oh, sorry.
Will SpongeBob
But
be able to neutralize the
it's
giant robot
when we find out
brain?
about that trick, like, it's not new, but I don't know. It's like,
Oh, it's like 5 years old.
yeah, it's pretty old, but it's like,
It was interesting how it's found. It was found by using a moon jump with an action replay.
Yeah.
And then when found out that you can use the boost. You can use the karate chop on those platforms to boost yourself up there.
And just skip
So
it.
it's pretty hilarious how that trick was found. And so what would be happening right now is, so what happened there, I should have explained, is when I did that damage boost and fell all the way to the bottom, we would have normally get picked up by Hans, but because we disabled Hans, he didn't get us. And so what would normally be happening here is after we fought all those robots down. Oh my god, time is really soon. I'm sorry. Time. Woo! I let myself go with the commentary.
I stopped it a couple seconds late, but it's okay. Your time was 1:17:19, probably more like 1:17:17.
That didn't feel like a 117, but I think that was a pretty good run for my standards.
That's consistent.
Yeah. If you like this run, don't go anywhere yet. We got the Squarepants movie coming up next.
Stay tuned, guys.
I need to stand up. My ass hurts.
Oh my god. Same console. Give me like 5 minutes.
Okay, let's go.
SpongeBob, you did it!
What'd he do? What? Oh, yeah. That does it. I'm becoming a lawyer. You haven't defeated me yet. I still have lots of robots all over Bikini Bottom. I'll summon them all, and then we'll see. Uh-oh. I'll destroy you. You'll destroy me. I'll destroy you. I'll destroy you twice as hard. Oh yeah? I'll destroy you plus one. Well, I'll destroy you plus infinity. Shut up, you stupid robot. Who are you calling stupid? I went to community college. You oversized body rider. Oh yeah? I'll show you. Come here and fight like a mouse.
Well, Plankton, I hope you learned your lesson.
Oh, I certainly did. Next time I'll get it right. Who's the ice cream?
I do, I do.
I might come back during this round.
May I remind you all that there are still robots out there making a
That was
mess
so,
of
that was
Bikini
good.
Bottom.
That was really
Right.
fun.
Thank you.
That was a
I'm
really
being
fun round.
punished. I don't
A lot of
know what
donations
it was,
were
but I'm being punished.
Still work to be done out there.
Oh, like
Well,
15?
Barnacle Boy wouldn't
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Neither will I.
people watching.
Until
Yeah,
Bikini
that's
Bottom
when we
is
keep
safe.
that. Yeah.
Let me sit there and
Yeah.
okay for how Wade brings
I saw Shift with the
Yeah,
icon.
yep, yeah,
Shift was there. I'm sure. That's the most viewers we've had so far today. Well, so far.